introduction because she has been representing our interests here in Fort Hueneme and in the county. She's on her 5th term. Kathy, no matter how many times you do it, it still gets you. So for all of you that have the fear of public speaking, don't, because it happens to everybody. Supervisor Kathy Long is currently serving her 5th term on the Ventura County Board of Supervisors, representing the residents of the 3rd District, out of an 18-year career of public service as a county supervisor. She's the vice chair of the Board of Supervisors for 2014, and she serves on a number of boards and commissions, including being the treasurer of the Economic Development Collaborative of Ventura County Board of Directors, co-chair of the Regional Defense Partnership for the 21st Century, and chair of the County of Ventura Medical Oversight Subcommittee. Additionally, Kathy represents the Ventura County Board of Supervisors on the Executive Board of California State Association of Counties. She's involved in a number of service and business organizations, including Chambers of Commerce, American Red Cross President's Council, and Boys and Girls Clubs of Camarillo Board of Directors. She was most recently honored as Legislator of the Year for 2013 by the Chamber of Commerce Alliance of Ventura and Santa Barbara Counties. 26-year marriage. Do I need to say more? My friend.
Why would you say that publicly? 26 years of marriage now. For some of you, that's nothing, I'm sure. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Amy. Good to see you all. Thank you for coming out so bright and early this morning. And that was a wonderful breakfast. DJ's does a great job. Always happy to have them in anything that I attend. Always do a great job with good food, and good morning to you, and welcome to everyone. Tracy, you do a great job. It's always fun to work with my chamber friends because they're always optimistic and looking at what the business climate is and working hard to improve the business climate and to support the business community, particularly small businesses in our county, which are 80% of what the business base is in this county. And the chambers are critically important to supporting that base and making sure they can do the best job they can to support our small business community. So thank you, and thank you to all who are present for being here, the Fort Hueneme Commissioners. I saw Mary Ann Rooney.
Marlene Tyler.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, hi, Marlene. You were one of the first in the room. And I don't see city council members present, but I know I was talking with Mr. Sharkey, and he's at our conference, and it's busy times for everyone. So, but it's good to see all the chamber folks here. So thank you for being here, and congratulations on the chamber under the leadership of Tracy. Tracy, you've had a very successful year. I've enjoyed participating in the Teacher of the Month events. I do that with other chambers, and it's really valuable to really thank our educators for doing what they do and developing the future leaders of our community through our education system. And we have a very strong education system in this county. It's good to see Wayne Edmonds here from the Oxford High School District. And so we do have a good, strong education system in this county. And I always, particularly with kindergarten and first grade teachers, they're saints. They're saints. So looking forward to quickly as the holiday season's now rolling around in September, we're all back in school. Don't you feel like that, Beverly? After all your years of having to go back to school? No. The second annual, I look forward to the second annual Holly Day Tree Lighting Event. It's always fun. So anyway, that's the fall equinox is on us, and I want to also make sure to acknowledge that Lauren Bianchi Clemens is going to keep me on track here this morning. Lauren, who is one of a wonderful staff person working with me closely, and a mother of a now 1.5-year-old. Yeah. A little bitty one. Yeah, she's just a little fancy. All right, so let's brace yourself. It is pumpkin. It is that time of year when pumpkin flavored everything is coming our way. However, I'm not sure what will fall on my driveway first, whether it's going to be a Christmas catalog or fall leaves, because you know how fast that happens. I mean, it's I don't like it. But So just as our schools are back in session, so is the Board of Supervisors. And as your representative, I say this every time I speak to groups, our responsibility as the Board of Supervisors are pretty clear: health, welfare, public safety. We are an arm of the state. We implement programs that are mandated by the state or mandated by law. And we do things that are a little different than cities, that have broader umbrellas in the sense of providing the health and welfare and public safety for the communities. The third district, map is up, you can see I have the center core, very large geographic part of the county. We all have same equal population for census and decisions, but geographically I do represent almost 5 cities, and the furthest reaches of the county all the way over to Lockwood Valley, lots of trees in between and lots. So that's really district, third district in the county of Ventura. So, I'm going to ask you some questions. It's not a test, but let's see if it works. So, what year was Ventura County established?
We were counting on John Sharp.
Yeah. John would know. 1873. So, yeah, we've got some history with our county. Of the California counties, what does Ventura County rank in the terms of geographical size? And I'll tell you, there are 58 California counties. Okay, we rank 26. We're a coastal county, and of course having a forest makes us big geographically. But what's our ranking in terms of population? 11. Most populous county in the state, 11th most populous county. We, I think, consider ourselves probably more rural even than urban, but we are an urban county, and the state listings of counties were an urban county. We are blessed to have this great balance of agriculture and our 10 urban cities, but we are considered an urban county. So we are ranked number 11. In the agricultural world, as our ag commissioner just told us, we're like, I think, number 5 in the county for agricultural production. So we are still, and no, I'm sure you all know that, strong as agriculture is the number 1 industry. Just this week, the real estate site Movado ranked Ventura County top 5 best counties in California. So with our 10 incorporated cities, the county of Ventura represents, of course, the unincorporated areas, but in those program areas that umbrella over the entire county, we interact with all of our cities and do our very best to make sure we're supporting the common constituencies we share and the residents of this county. They're important partners with us, and it's valuable that we have good relationships and that we work closely with our businesses. Our top priority is a commitment to strengthening the economic opportunity and vitality in our community. Our major industries and economic drivers, certainly the economic drivers, not employers. The county of Ventura is one of the big employers with over 8,000 employees. But the economic drivers certainly are our biotech industry, Baxter and Amgen. Agriculture still is the number 1 industry. Certainly naval-based Ventura County is very strong economic engine for us. The Port of Miami, the special district and the economic vitality of the port is invaluable to all of us in the county. Tourism is a growing economic engine for us, and I'm going to talk a little bit later on a couple things that are working there. Finance and growing business incubators. And most of the larger cities, I don't say most, I say Ventura and Thousand Oaks have incubator programs for small businesses. So if you're a small business and you're not a home-based and you want to have an actual office and a footprint, you can go under like an umbrella of a business structure, go in and get the support services you need to get your incubated business up and running. I come from a background, my husband and I came to this county with a small business. I really do understand the value of small businesses and the importance of being able to sign that side of the check and work with employees and make sure that you're providing a service to the community and that you're engaged with the community. Another priority to maintain a balanced budget. Number 1 thing for any municipality, maintain a balanced budget, where revenues and expenses are in check and the quality of the services for our residents are as strong as they can possibly be. And again, as I said with the counties, that begins with the state. We have a constitutional responsibility in working with the state to provide federal and state mandated services to the public. In responding to local needs, we manage those directives. Yes, that's what we do. That's what we balance. We balance the dollars that are sent to us by the state, and we balance the legislation that's passed down to us by the state. And as we're fully into the election season, we're looking at the initiatives that are being proposed at the state level. In November, there are some significant ballot initiatives that will be before you as the voters, and they will have an impact on county government. I know that a lot of you are very disappointed that one that didn't make the ballot is the one to break the state up into 6 different states.
Again?
Yes, again. That would have been interesting to say the least. But nothing speaks more to what is on the forefront of our agenda than water. And as we talk about those economic engines, there isn't a one of them that water doesn't cross their platform of interest and value. Certainly with agriculture, it's the strongest issue we have in this county right now. And we see in the Central Valley where farmers are leaving fields fallow because they cannot deal with the water, they don't either have the access or the cost or the quality of the water that they need. And that trickles into so many things, particularly in agriculture, food costs, all of the ancillary services that's intersected with agriculture. It's all very important to us. Our region benefited since 2007 from $62 million worth of grant funding that came from the last 2 voter-approved water bonds, funding 25 projects across our county. And as was mentioned, I serve on the executive board of the California State Association of Counties, and in that capacity, we took a position to support Proposition 1, which is a ballot initiative. It's the water fund, $7.5 billion water fund. That's what's deep. We supported that for some of the reasons I've just mentioned, but there's no question there is a direct value and benefit from that water bond to all of us in both the areas of supply and the areas of additional conveyance, in improvement, and particularly in our county through the integrated water management plan. That's where we've been able to access those grants and put those 25 projects on the ground. So take a good look at that water bond, $7.5 billion. It is significant, but it will be of great value. It is not tied to the tunnel project. That is a whole separate, you've got a parallel pass, but it's not tied to the tunnel project. The Bay Delta proposed tunnel project. It's not. $7.5 billion, it goes for some storage, but mostly improving the quality of the water, dealing with habitat restoration, and that. So if you have a half a glass of water in front of you, the question is it half full or half empty? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? And I conclude if you drink the glass of water, you're a problem solver. I'm really proud to serve in this county and work with a dynamic board of supervisors, really looking to solve problems. And again, our 5-member board oversees a budget that is $1.88 billion this year, up 4.2%. Our budget includes enterprise funds such as Fire Protection District, the Watershed Protection District, county hospitals, and other smaller water districts, small water districts. So with the budget, we have required by law to be structured and balanced every year, and we have been. We have had no significant budget cuts. Our reserves have increased again this year. We have implemented a few years ago a Lean Six Sigma process for all of our county departments, and I'll tell you that we have had significant savings over the last 3 years of $31 million in real savings because of how the departments look at the process. How do they take one piece of paper and move it through the system? And how do you take what may have been a 12-page form and make it a 1-page form? Things like that, and they do make a difference. We have long-term credit rating, Standard & Poor's AAA, the highest rating for a county of our size in our budget. Moody's AA1, Fitch AA+. The rates and fees have been generally flat. And to business, that's important because they are the ones who generally pay the rates and the fees for services rendered. And so to keep those flat over these tough economic times, I think we've done a good job of that. We have made investments in technology and infrastructure. You've heard the biggest public works project underway right now is the hospital replacement for the Ventura County Medical Center. It's a $305 million project. It is fully underway. Take a ride up on Loma Vista, one of the largest cranes I've ever seen in my life. Currently doing, and Bob, you love this, the engineer that you are, doing the, those things that make it safe.
Pillars?
It's interesting what they're doing a little differently, but anyway, and then we also invested $19.7 million into an integrated property tax system to upgrade that. And so we do look at not just standing still, but making investments to improve the future for the county and the services. As chair of the Medical Oversight Committee, I've been very happy to see some recognition come our way. Recently, the Ventura County Public Health Department was the first in the state in California to earn the prestigious designation as the National Public Health Accreditation Board. There was certainly a lot of effort by public health. It was a 2-year process. They met standards related to 97 performance measures in 12 areas such as emergency preparedness, outbreak surveillance, public outreach regarding health hazards. And then we were recently told, and this made the front page top of the whole of the local paper, that our medical center family residency clinical training, our residency program for the hospital that's been there for 45 years, is the #1 in the nation. So every year when we open up for the residency, we'll bring on a new group, 10, 12 to 15. The competition, 300, 400 applications for it. That speaks volumes to what we're doing at the medical center in the way of residency interaction and exposure and experience that they gain from working in the hospital system and working in our clinics and, of course, growing our own. We've been very successful at having those programs and getting residents to stay here in the county and continue to work with us, which is very important to do because physicians are going to be harder to come by. Already are. So I'm confident we're in a strong financial position. Obviously, you always have to remain vigilant and watch your back pocket with the state of California. So we do that. The challenges ahead will continue to be the public safety realignment, which was enacted in 2011. And that is the area where the state had to lower the population of the state prison by federal law, 3-judge panel that says you'll lower it, we're going to must lower the capacity at the prisons. And so what the decision made was to look at the release of low-level offenders to the county jails and or to probation and send them back to the community from where the residency was and is. And so that's been underway since 2011. There's a full board called the CCP. It's made up of the CEO and the head of probation and the sheriff and the district attorney and our behavioral health director and others and the community. And particularly the faith community and the nonprofit community that's interested in how we can help these folks who come back to our community get housing, find jobs, get skills, and not to reoffend. So that has been fully underway. At the end of the day, we were looking at probably 1,600, 1,700 inmates coming our way. It hasn't all been at once. They're slowly coming back as their terms have been, they're supposed to be within their last 5 years. We've had a couple that have come that have been more than that. So long story short, it's a challenge. It will continue to be a challenge, and our law enforcement teams are top-notch in this county, so I feel strongly that they're on top of it, so there's not a question of safety to the community. Low-level offenders, particularly when they're coming back and they know if they obviously don't reoffend, they don't go back to prison because they're strictly monitored and watched. They are back in jail. But there's an expense to that, and the state shifted that to us. So we are watching that, working closely with the state on it. The other, of course, is the Affordable Care Act. As that rolls out in all of our communities and businesses and individuals, experience and the cost and how to manage that and to make sure that we as a county are serving in our role with the Affordable Care Act. We are both an employer and a provider, and we have responsibility